I welcome you all on our Certified DevOps Engineer Training Program. This is our roadmap, and according to roadmap, we have successfully completed our day 1, where we learn about the Linux in context of the DevOps, and we also completed our day 2, where we learn about the basic fundamentals and things related to the DevOps. And today we are going to start with the version control system. This is our day 3. As usual, those who are tuning in later, so they can scan this QR code. They can register themselves for training. This is my volunteer work, free of cost, to support the people like you are entering into the DevOps world. And again, I would like to acknowledge all these people for their lovely words. And we are really thrilled to get the response from all of you. And today we have some of the people with us. They are joining today. They scan the QR code, they watch our video. I'm sorry, in last session we couldn't introduce. So today we have Rakesh with us, and Pushpendra is also joining us today. And today we also have a special guest. I will let you know. So maybe Rakesh or Pushpendra, guys, could you please quickly introduce yourself, maybe in 1 or 2 lines, or because last time we couldn't do this because our session we had a lot to cover. But I think today is the time, if you are okay. Thank you, Pushpendra.
Hello. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Myself, I am Rakesh Kumar. I'm currently in final year in dual degree at IIT Kanpur in India. So currently, I was preparing for data science and machine learning roles. So there, I was searching for content related to Git, GitHub, and all related to things. So there, I got the video of this channel about Git and GitHub. So first, I had seen that video. After that, it is very really nice. After that, I went to inside the channel and I seen very less videos. So I completed all the videos, and in each of the video is material is very good, and easily I got the content. That means before this video, I had seen many channels about the Git and GitHub, but I didn't understand what that means, what is staging and where the files are going. I nearly seen 10 or 15 videos about Git and GitHub, but the thing is not understood. That means I did not able to imagine the files. They are directly telling we are pushing, we are staging. I didn't understand where the files are going. That is very complicated. After heading over to this channel, so it is very clearly explained. Then I got the concept very clear. That means okay, first of all we are putting this in some middle space. About after that we need to commit changes. After that we need to push okay. After that I completed all the videos and I scanned that scanner and joined this training. Oh, so it is really nice to join this. Thank you, sir, for this valuable content.
With pleasure. Thank you very much, Rakesh, for your introduction, your feedback. And there are many more to come. Today is the topic, and I will be explaining today those things. You already watched the video, but today's session will be give you more insight, not only you, but all the participants. And yeah, so thank you very
Yes,
much
thank
for
you, sir.
joining. And okay, Pushpin. So Pushpin has just texted, and okay, okay, Pushpin. Thank you very much, Pushpin. And as I said, we also have a special guest today, so I will introduce you at the time comes. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. So let's start without wasting further time. Now everybody is familiar with my delivery style, how I go, how we play here, right? So we start with very basic fundamental things, right? So guys, you maybe noticed so far, I always concentrate on the very basic stuff, and those things always many people overlooked. And when we follow along, I'm not saying the things which are out there are not good. It's my way of presentation, it's my way of explaining, so it completely depends how people are doing. But my motto is to not just teach you, right? I'm not your professor, it's not university lecture, right? So we are preparing for a war, right? And so we must have everything before actually going for the real world, right? So that's why I always focus on many basic fundamental things, which when I started, I also faced the problem like Rakesh you mentioned. It was really hard for me. The topic which I will explain you today, I'll tell you how difficult it was, right? I mean, difficult it means yes, you know the command, you are doing the things, you are following the entire everything. But the thing is, when you think about the concept, then everything is gone. what is happening? We don't know. So that's why everything here, what I'm sharing, so it's not teaching, it's a sharing, right, guys? I'm not teaching you. You can get all the documents are available on the internet, right? You could have been read that, but here I share my experience, how I learn the things, where I observe, how people get confused, and that will save time. So that's the motto. So very first, here we will start with the basic fundamentals. Then in this part 2, we will go ahead. This is your DevOps diary. So we will put all the in basic commands, right, like we did in Linux. So we will note all the our commands that always on your head, right, in this diary. Then we will go ahead, push pull GitHub addition. Then we will see the GitHub, and then finally we wrap up with the all the advanced topic, because some of our friends, our fellow trainees, they are also from development background. And now, as I said, DevOps are also doing infrastructure as a code. When we start our, I think, module Terraform, right? I think it's 9 or 10. Yeah, day 10. Then I will show you. We also do coding. So coding, it means we are doing the programming. There are pre-built sets over there we have to use. And in last session we talk about how the DevOps work, right? So you also need to know how this versioning works, right? How these tools work. So that's the agenda. And some of the important point, we really thrilled our part 3 of Linux, where I really didn't expect this will we get this much of response from the people. And it was very advanced things which we covered. Similarly, you will expect the same level of content when we start this point, right? But as I said, first we make our very strong foundation, and then we will start building on top of that. First, our foundation must be strong, right? So in this section, we will cover with one version control system, local version control system, centralized, distributed, and then we will go ahead and see what we have, all these things, right? And I think now I don't need to explain why I put all these points. And of this section, you will be able to connect all the dots, right? So let's just start version control system. But before we go ahead and start with what version control system is, right? I would like to recap the last session, what we have done, and my apologies, right? Is still the half of the session was get recorded. Rest of the video we are still recovering that. I hope it will be recovered and it will be shared with you soon. So in last session we covered how we can build the software, right? We also learn about how the methodology, or it's a very tough twisting word, different approaches, right? It's a very easy to say. And yeah, so different approaches, right? We start with this, and we also discuss what DevOps is, right? So we are interested in DevOps, we are doing the DevOps, right? But in short, DevOps is a extension of the agile approach, and with lots of tool, lots of automation, cultural shift, and there are so many things. And I also told you, whenever you explain what DevOps is, always says according to you. There is no standard definition you need to explain or mug up, right? So this is what we done. We also seen about what DevOps stacks, what tools we are going to use in this course. Of course, Selenium is not part of that, but we will definitely see how in build process, how we do the automation with the test. When this, in I think chapter 5, yeah, part 2, I will let you know how you do all these things automation, right? And we also talk about the pipeline, right? How this pipeline works. It's very typical, at least this stage you follow, but this can be very depending on your project requirement and client or your company needs and all these things. And we also touch upon how you can integrate the DevSecOps in this. And as I said, we will be definitely bring an entire series on the DevSecOps, right? But before that, I want you guys to have very solid foundation with the DevOps thing, right? And then we talk about the how, like before that we learn how to develop. Then we also talk about how we release our software once it is there. So there are two approach in this. One is like you have your own product, right? Another thing, you are contributing or open source project, right? And when you go today, I will share some of the repository with you, and I will also let you know how you can see when this product is released, right? When alpha release, when beta release, RC candidate release, right? GA release, and end of life, right? All these things we have talked in our previous session. And we also talk about version semantics. And we are today going to or we started version control system. So previously we talk about versioning, and today too, we are going to talk about how version controlling happens. To maintain all these things, we need something, right? So we are coming very soon on this topic in this one, right? Versioning. So talk about how versioning happened. So versioning semantics follow XYZ three pattern, right? X belongs to, or X is okay. This is the major version. When you have something entirely new which is not compatible, for example, this is DevOps training, right? And when I change the entire content, many other tools which are not compatible, or maybe I include new topics in that which are not relevant to the old one, then it means I would say, okay, this is the entire, or this is the major release of that training. When I add only particular some of the topics in this, it means this is a minor. And like when I release, then people give their feedback and they said, okay, you did mistake at this point, so next time what happened, I will correct that, and that goes over here. So that is patching. So this XYZ, this represent major, minor, and patch, right? We also talk about now, we can read. And first of all, thank you very much to Kubernetes providing this document, which is very help us to clear, and for me to make you give exposure where this practically applied, right? So it says here, if I go next one, so it says Kubernetes project maintain release branches. So here one term is branches for the most recent three minor releases. So we know minor means second. Why is it, right? And this Y value. So 1.32, 31, and 30. So there are three minor. So Kubernetes is maintaining, and they maintain by the branches. We will learn about the branching, right? But remember this term. Last time I didn't tell you to remember this term, but now today I'm telling you, just remember, we will discuss on this. And it also says Kubernetes 1.19 and newer receives approximately 1 year of patch support. So we know patch, it means this one, this field is going, they are not going to make a new going to add a new feature in that. They are not going to make any of the changes. Only they are going to do some maintenance kind of thing, right? And similarly for 18 version is same, understand, right? So that's why we talk about. So yes, of course, these are minor release 1.32, 31, and 30, and this will be also helpful to you if you when we start Kubernetes. I will let you know why these things are. I mean, we'll talk more about what is happening over here. But at the moment, our focus is on version control system. So we are talking in the context of versioning, right? So they have three. And as per our release, it says there was a phase where it says end of life. So they already decided when it is going to be end of life, right? After that, it is not going to be maintained at all. And if you want to read more about this, just click on this schedule changelog and read more about it. So you will get more insight. But definitely when we go specifically for Kubernetes certification training, talk about this in very, very, very detail, right? So for today, I'm just taking you one snippet out of this 1.31 minor release, right? And it has this patches released so far 1.31.0 to 1.31.4. I know you will be able to understand why I am taking this example. So let's go over here. So what happened? And before I continue with this, so all the further explanation before and after all of this, here I'm only using for the learning purpose, right? This is not actually happened. If you want to know what exactly happened, go to this release page. Okay, go to changelog and go to the repository. You will find everything. But just for our understanding, I'm taking this as an example. We are thankful to them, they provide their notes over there, right? And it's all, everything is their property. We are just taking it as an example for educational purpose, right? So some point in time, team decided, right? So we have something, so they created their folder, right? And they start coding on that. And after that, they said, okay, we are happy with all this, and they released the initial version which says 1.31 1.31.0. After that, okay, when it was released, then they found, okay, some bugs in that, people reported, right? And after that, they fixed the bug as a patch release, right? So this value has changed. this was the minor bug phase. Then they release it again. Then some people suggested more features. So in the same 31.2, so always remember, in this case, yes, it is possible, along with this z value, updates can be new features can be added, right? But this will go in other sequence. Okay. And after that, 1.3 in 3 version, let's say some security issues were found and people reported, so they fix this in this version and release it. Okay. And after that, finally they done everything and final patch released. So 1.31.4 as a final version, and also this is the end of the line, right? Very simple process, right? Nothing complicated. It seems very easy, right? But to do this, because you are maintaining all these things, and here the people are working together simultaneously on the same thing, so they also, so here the Kubernetes maintain 3 minor version, 1.30, 1.31, 1.32, let's say, right? And everybody is working all together parallelly. So how will you do this, right? So for that we need something, and that is version control system. I'm not still done yet. So to explain it more better, I have taken this two snapshot, right? This is the Linux repository. Go to github.com and search for the Linux. You will get this repository, right? And this is the Kubernetes repository. In my search, I didn't find any other repository, those who have this many number of contributors, this many number of commits, right? Or other way around, I would say I didn't spend much time to find more. Okay. So if you find it, just let me know. So in this, what happened in this page on the both, or in fact, when I show you the GitHub, then when you go to the repository homepage, right? On the home page you will find many information. Take your time. Yes, we will learn everything, not everything, the important things which over here. So at the moment, like I said, there are multiple versions, right? To manage those, how it happens, here there is an option release, and this release has tags. So all this version as a tag, it means simple, I'm saying this particular version is stable and can be used by the public or the end user. So that is what happened with the release. And here also it says 1.31.2 is the latest as of when I put this snapshot, right? This is one thing. Next thing, if I go over here, so guys, I'm not talking about 1 or 2 developers or 10 developers or a small team. I'm talking about open source project. Open source project. Okay, the last session, and I'm not able to speak. Okay, so here, if you see on this repository, there we have, see the number of contributors, 15,000 plus contributors, and these numbers are keep on adding, right? And here, if you see the Kubernetes, 3,743 at this time, right? So when you have to collaborate with these many people, how would you do? You need something, right? Additionally, if you go on this one, I will also let you know what is commitments. So here in this, you have approximately 1.3 million. 1.3 million, yes, right? So commit, it means the changes were happening, right? And here, if you see, 127,000 commits happened so far. So when these many people are working on one project, right, and they are doing a lot of changes in the code, so it is really difficult, right? We need something like when I explained the hypervisor, right, virtual machine. So we need a hypervisor to have virtual machine over here. Similarly, we need some tools that can maintain all this thing, all this kind of things, right? So here it says contribution, it means this is the collaboration, right? Here it says release, it means versioning, right? Here again the commit, it means changes. Okay, tracking the changes. Three things, right? So your version control system, if somebody asks you, I mean, your interviewer more specifically, right, or maybe anybody asks you what is version control system, you can say version control system is a tool, right, to manage the changes, versions, and provides the collaboration. I mean, to how we can collaborate, right? So all these things. No book definition, everything I showed you practically how it happens, right? Next thing, so as I said, we need something, and that something is GitHub, right? So of course we saw this repositories are hosted on the GitHub platform, right? So more specifically, these are our version control system we are going to talk about. Do you have any questions so far? No? Great. So let's start with very first thing. This is the version control system, and now we know what is version control system. Version control system, we can say it's a kind of not kind of, it's a tool where we can to it help us to manage versioning, right? Changes, and also the collaboration, right? We can collaborate with many people on when they are working on the same project. And I showed you, I have just shown you how many people, not one or two people, right? These are many people, more than 50,000 people, 1.3 million changes are there, right? So it's very hard for us to do if we do it manually. So that's why we need. So in short, I told you so far what is this and why you need this, right? So it's not the definition. You want definition, search on the internet, you will get the definition. But I hope now you will be able to explain. So let's go move ahead and talk about the local version control system. So it's, as the name says, local. It means we are doing everything on our own system, right? So in this, first, when you start working on your project, so let's say you're working on one of the your own client project, or maybe a school project, right? um, it can be anything, right? It is not necessarily you must have the coding, right? These tools are not for the only, you can use it not only for the coding, you can also use it for any other things as well. Maybe you are working on video project, if you are video editor, you can use that. If you are working on let's say analyst, right? You have some files, Excel file, CSV file, JSON file, you can also put in this directory, right? You can also put your Word documents in this. You can also put images in this, right? So this is possible. This tool can be used. I use for my maintaining for my personal documents using it. I also have my own personal GitHub repository where I keep maintain my document over there, right? So let's start with this thing very first. We got some project, and this is my local laptop or your local laptop or our local laptop. It is dsoc3, right? Then very first we create a folder, right? We know why we need to create a folder. We know what command we need to use. mkdi is the command, right? And then we start doing the coding on top of that. So this coding, right, this folder, which is, if that is your working directory, right? Where your files are, you are working on everything inside this folder, right? In local version control or simple version control system, we can logically divide this into two parts, right? What are two parts? I'm sorry. So first one is your, this first one is your working directory where you are working on, right? You make some changes, you modified the file, delete the file, add the file, I mean, whatever operation you can perform on the files you are doing inside this, right? Regular operation. So those are called as your changes. So local version control system has local database, right? We will come on that. What is this database and all these things? But we know, right? Database, it means something, some place where it stores some kind of details. So in this case, we have, when we install local version control system on our system, our local machine, right? And we create a folder, and then we are using that as a versioning system, right? A version control system. Then it also creates a local database on the local itself, on local machine itself, right? And all the changes, so whatever you are doing, it's getting recorded in this. So this is your local version control system. There are two examples so far I came across. I mean, might be there are many, but it's just as a revision control system and source code control system, right? So anyways, we are not going to use it, but if you want, you can download. These are available on the internet. I think GNU, yeah. When you search, you will find it. And try to you, if you want to try, go ahead and do this. So these are the two examples. When you are experienced, nobody is going to ask you, give me the example of a local version control system, right? But if you are beginner, it might be asked to you, right? So just give the answer, RCS and SCCS. So that brings us to the advantage. So advantage is very simple. Like simplicity is it is very simple on local system, easy to set up. Just install on your local system and start using it, right? And it is on my local system. I don't need any network dependency. Whether I'm connected with the, after installation, whether I connected with the internet or not, I can do my coding, right? So maybe I'm traveling somewhere and there is no internet, still I can do my work, right? Or maybe maybe I will go on hiking, right, in very remote area and there is no network connectivity. So it's still, I'm a workaholic, not alcoholic. so so in that way, I still in my pleasure time, I would like to work. Then I'm working on going top of the hill, right? So and there is no network connectivity. So still, if I'm using local version control system, I can work over there. Additionally, there is no network connectivity at all because it doesn't require. Everything also on my local latency is also not very high, right? Because everything is local accessible to me, right? So speed is very high. These are the advantage of this, but it also has disadvantage, and those are the major disadvantages. Single point of failure. What happened if my local system hard drive got crashed? I lost everything, right? So maybe let's say tomorrow morning I have to deliver. I have done everything. I give presentation to the client. Client says, okay, tomorrow just deliver and take your payment. And tomorrow, tonight, when I turn off my system, tomorrow it won't turn on, right? Then what happened? I lost my all the time as well as money, because client will not pay you until unless you give the what they want, right? So it's a single point of failure. Second thing, limited collaboration. So as I just showed you, this 15,000, 16,000, or 16,000 genius people, those who are contributing to the open source project, right? So in this, if everybody is working on their own local system, so it is really hard for people to share this project directory, right? Because we want everybody, because it's open source, people are working on it in their own time, right? A company also says we have a flexible timing policy. So do whenever you want to work, right? Similarly, I heard about this Spotify. They also, it's very trending post on LinkedIn. Find it, how they said our I think, no offense, but as I remember, they said our employees are not good. So it is based on the, you work whenever you want to work, as far as I remember. Find it and read about it. So this is one problem. We cannot do the collaboration because everything is, whatever is my own local system is for me, right? If I have to share with somebody, I have to zip it up and email them, or maybe I put in a pen drive or something like that. That's a problem with uh, local version control system, right? Additionally, no central repository. Each user has their own version history. So same, for example, of course, we once in a life we came across this situation. I think this example is very good. In school project, when we work on, so we work with our friend, right? So we said, okay, you work on this, I work on this thing. And so the way of working of your friend is different, way of working of you is different. That's completely fine, but you agree with one common format. And once you will done with your both things, then you will put all the things in one file, right? But as your friend is working and you are also working, so at the end what happened, you have to see, okay, what he has done, what you have done, and manually you have to check one by one and put in your one common file. So that's the problem of local system. There is no centralized system where, so your friend has one copy, you have one copy, and when you merge and you again start working on both. So there is no single truth, right? You always says, okay, version 1, version 2, final, really final, and this is really, 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 really final version, like that, right? So this is what happened with this. So advantage, disadvantage. Advantage is simple, no network connectivity needed, very fast, right? And the biggest problem, single point of failure. If your disk gone or laptop stolen, everything is gone, right? Limited collaboration, you cannot work with many people. And also there is no central place where you are following your version of the system, right? So this is the advantage and disadvantage. Any questions so far? No. Okay.
About the local one, no question. I understood, but how they do in GitHub so to work this many people in one project?
Yes. So yeah, thank you, Francisco, for asking the question. That's we are coming on that point. How do they work when we start this our GitHub addition section? I will show you. Okay. But at the moment, thank you for you understood.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions, guys? Okay, last chance. Okay, now my turn. I will ask the question, please. Very quick. So, where are changes tracked in LVCS, means local version control system? So, option A says central server, option B says local file system, option C says cloud storage. Very nice. Shubhendra, Tarun, Rakesh, Samar, nice. Okay. Anybody else? Francisco. Nice. Very. So guys, this is for you. All answers are correct, right? So it's a local file system. And when we talk about the file system, you know what we are referring over here. File system means what, right? Thank you, Raju. So yes, option B is correct. And we do not have cloud and central as well in local. So our next question. LVC LVCS is generally fast as operations are local, slow due to internet dependency. C, moderately fast. Fast, good, good. Kesh, Tarun, Francisco, Samar, Nitish. Very nice, guys. Very good, very good. So yeah, fast. Okay. Do you want me to explain any of the point? It says moderately fast, right? So so it's kind of in between. So but here it's fast because there is no comparison at all. Thank you, Raju, for the answer. Next question. Okay, in LVCS, backups are managed automatically, supported by a dedicated server, manually done by the user. Good, Tarun, Rakesh, Raju, Samar. Anybody else? Francisco. Very nice, guys. Oh, bingo. Manually done by the user because it's my laptop. Nobody will come to save it. It's my responsibility. I have to take the regular backup. Otherwise, client is not going to pay me, right? So, what is limitation of LVCS? High redundancy, limited collaboration support, complex to set up. Good, Tarun, Rakesh, Samar. Okay. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. So yes, the option is limited collaboration support. We already discussed about this one, right? Complex to set up, no, not at all. Highly redundant, no point at all. Everything is on local, so no highly redundant, right? Until unless we take a multiple copy and spread it across several places. LVCS LVCS is the best suited for large multi-user project, a small single user project, and projects requiring high skill collaboration. Already people answer this. Rakesh, Tarun, Sachin, Nitish. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, the small single user operation. Yes, it's good. After this training, you decided, okay, I want to I don't want to work with the company. I want to start off my own self-employment, right? Freelancing your own company, but still don't use the local version control system. Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for your participation. It was really nice. All answers are correct. Everybody given the correct answer. Thank you very much for participation. So this is end of this section. I mean, not section. This part. Right now we are going to start with the centralized version control system. Right. So far we understood what are the advantage, what are the disadvantage of local version control system. Right? So let's quickly go ahead. Our foundation is still, we are preparing for that, but yeah, it is taking shape. So this is what we saw in our local system. We have working directory copy, right? Where we are actually working on, and we have local database, right? All the stores are getting, I mean, all the changes getting stored in this place, and everything. See, that's why I make this folder very big. So you know this is your project folder, and inside this dot line is dash line. It means this is logically divided, right? Like we make a partition on our hard drive. Similar, right? So physically, if you say your hard drive is one hard drive, or if you talk about this project folder, it's one folder, but logically, right, have we divided this? But in centralized, we have something else. So as its name says, it's centralized. So we have some kind of server central place, right? There, all the code, main code, or not all the code, main code we place on this central system, right? After that, not only the code, it has complete history of all the changes. Okay, so previously we have a problem with local system. Everybody is doing, and their changes were on their own local system, right? But in centralized, what we did, okay, guys, we have to collaborate with many people. Let's put everything at one place so everybody can access that very easily, right? And this is what happened in central version control system. Then how people work here. So if I have to work, or let's say this is this developer, it has to work, it has to connect with the central system, right, and get the copy of the code, right? It says local working directory, okay, and files you are working on, same. And similarly, if we have more developers, so they will do the same. More developers, again, they have to connect, they have to take out, I mean, get the copy of the code, right, source code, and on their local system, and they start working on. So now it is easier. You can connect with the central system, and you can get the data from the central system. But here what happened, whatever changes you are making, right, they stored only on your local system, right? This is your central database where complete history of all the changes, who has done what so far, everything will get stored over here. You get the source code or the project folder on your local system, you make changes, and those changes are also getting stored on your local system. And for similarly happen with other developers or other user. I mean, I don't want to make it more specifically for the developer, but yes, when you read the documentation on the internet or example, they everywhere you find, okay, the developer, right? Because initially it was the tool for the developers, right? So no offense, when I say developer, when I say user, consider the person who is using, right? Then in central we says, okay, final changes happen, sorry, yes, we are talking about the central. So in central, what happened, whatever the final changes will be only at the central repository, because we want one truth, right? So same example, let me explain. You and your friend both are working, so you said, okay, you put a file in somewhere in shared drive, you both share, make editor to both of you, and both you are working. So you said, okay, whatever we are doing, we'll put the final changes to our shared drive, right, instead of on our local system. But whatever I mean, it's not like you are always connecting over there and doing over there. You are doing locally and putting over there, like that it's happened. So whatever temporary files which had been created for you, let's say you're working on the Word file, right? So that temporary file, whatever changes happen, will be on your local system. But when you're done with that, you save the file and you not push, you put it on shared location, right? So that's what happened over here as well. Very simple, nothing, right? And similarly, there are two example of this subversion and perforce. I just put two. Go to your favorite AI companion, you will get more details, right? So now the point, let's come to the important point over here. So advantage of CVCS, right? And how it solves the local version control system issues. So now we have central repository. Before it was not, everything was local. So now we know, okay, on one place, this is one single truth we can trust on, right? That was the problem with LVCS, right? It enhanced the collaboration because many people can connect on the server, right? And they can do work together, right? Before it was not possible. And it says collaboration. I mean, yeah, same project simultaneously overcoming. Better backup management. You know, everybody's putting over there. So in central system, you can also, let's say, do the main automation of this backup, right? Time to time. So better backup. It says better. It's not best. Okay. So better, it means better than local. Then we have version history accessibility, right? So provides a clear and unified version history for the entire project, right? Because as I say, final change will always go to your central server. So we know whatever happened so far with the project, with the progress, you can check over there. Access control, as it's a centralized, okay, so you can also put kind of control who can access and who cannot access, right? And there are so many other things. It's been solved. So these are the advantage as well as the challenges solved by the centralized version control system. But once it is one side, it has resolved, but it also introduced some of the other challenges, right? So you always has to connect with your central system to work on, right? Then, because if you are not connected, because most of the things only connected with your central system, right? So same example, I was on hiking and I want to work, right? After reaching to top of the mountain, there is no internet connectivity, I cannot do anything, right? That's a problem. It's a single point of failure. So yes, central server has gone, then everything is gone, right? Network dependency performance, when many people are trying to access the same server, of course server will be crashed. So sometimes we experience this when we are, let's say, some the superstar, right? Our favorite singer, they release some kind of video. I don't know, I heard about that one of the singers, she put something on the internet and Google crashed for some amount of time. I heard, not sure. Okay, so I mean, I wanted to just give you the example. So in that, because so many requests, so many people are trying to access the server, and server also has limited resources, right? We talked already in our Linux session when we started. What is the advantage? I mean, significance of the hardware component, and we will talk more later when we have this monitoring topic. So this is the network dependency. It's another issue, and limited offline capabilities. So you, for major operation, you have to go to your central system and work over there, and that's a problem, right? Any questions so far, guys? Okay, I take it as a no. Thank you very much. It's my time to ask the question to you. Very good. Okay, thank you, Pushpin. So what is required for most operations in centralized version control system, CVCS? Internet connection, local server, offline storage. Very nice. Very nice, guys. Rakesh, Raju, Pushpin, someone, Tish, Sudhar. Very nice, guys. So yes, Right. We need an internet connection. Right. Next question, commits. Okay, I didn't tell you what commit means, but I showed I I I have shown you how the commits look like, right? So I told you in that this repository, the Linux repository and the Kubernetes repository, right? So commits, number of commits I showed you. So these are the changes or modifications, right? But final. So commits in this local storage, external hard drive, central repository. Very nice. Rakesh, Francisco, Samar, Raju, Shwendataran. Very nice, guys. So let's see the answer. Bingo. Next question. A notable disadvantage of CVCS. Very slow operations, single point of failure, lack of any backup. Nice, Pushpin. Tarun, Nitesh. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Let's see the answer. I mean, participation. Let's see the answer. What's the correct answer? So it's a single point of failure. Yes. Very nice. I think you already answered correct. If anybody needs any explanation on this, just raise your hand or interrupt. Otherwise, we will move on. Right? I understand. Oh, okay, sure. So here, right? So I'm not gonna say the name, but yes, that's fine. Of course, I will explain. So here the notable disadvantages, right? So very slow operations. First of all, this is clear single point of failure, right? Because if central server is down, right? So not only the because of the connectivity, let's say it is compromised, it is hacked, power failure. There are so many things, right? So if the central server is not available, because everything on central system, you have to go and connect with central system and then work. So let's say, mm, like in your company or maybe in your university, right? You have some share folder, share directories. Those are called FTPs, right? So and you have very limited space over there, so you put some important document over there because you know, okay, these are the shared drive provided by the university, and more specifically that's your project, and you're not worried about to put it over there, somebody steal your idea or make a patent or anything. You're fine with that. You put your folder, your data on university shared FTP, or just say it's a place, shared place, right? And then when the day came, you have to give a presentation, and the university server went down. Then what happened? You are not able to access, and your pen drive got corrupted, your laptop, maybe, let's say worst to worst, it's stolen. I mean, touch wood, it won't happen, just giving you the example, and you only rely with the center. Then what happened? You're no longer able to have your data on your own system. Okay, so this is the one. Second thing, very slow operation. So very slow operation is incorrect, as yeah, we can do backup. Yes, we can do backup as well, but when it is centralized, then it is not your responsibility. As I said, yes, you before putting on central, you're also putting on your own local system, right? And as I said, in centralized system, you are the major thing. What major thing? I don't want to tell a name now because it doesn't make any sense. But let's say you want to make a final change. So you will not make final change on your local system or your local laptop, I would say, instead of system. So make it simpler. You say, okay, final, you like you want to save a file as a very, very final, or this is the final. After that, nothing. So instead of renaming this file it on your local system, local laptop, you keep the file on your remote or central server, and you give that name on that central server. So that, I mean, the final changes, right? So that is, and it says very slow operation, so it is incorrect as it is in significant disadvantage, right? So significant, here we are talking about the significant, the most problem, right? So if your system is slow, for example, you're watching reel, and I mean, so far I never experienced this happen, right? Insta is very great, but might be, maybe you're watching a video on YouTube, right, on your system, so quality may fluctuate. So you can say, okay, that's fine, but you always able to listen the voice, it doesn't get lost at all, right? So comparison to that, if your system is slow, that's fine, but still you are able to work, but here you are not able to work at all, right? And here the lack of any backup, so it says lack of any backup is false. Why? Because the central repository itself often acts as a backup. So this is also not a significant disadvantage. So what happened major or worse to us? So out of this, we are talking about, or we have chosen the point B. I hope. Okay. Thank you. So this is one. Okay, guys. That's why I put this, and I was expecting the discussion on that point. So next question, CVCS. And yes, before, thanks for your questions as well. And now to this question. So CVCS stands for Consolidated Version Control System, Centralized Version Control System, and Central Version Control System. Okay. Pushpen, Samar, Francisco, Nitesh. Very nice guy. So, so option B is correct. Okay, that is Centralized Version Control System, which is also done over here. Next question. How many questions I put it? Okay. So what type of collaboration model does a CVCS user? Does a CVCS uses, sorry, peer-to-peer, client server, decentralized? Okay, nice. Reference to the room. What about else? Okay. Very nice, guys. Yes. So client server model. So the diagram like this. Okay, this, so all these are the machines, these are the called as a client, and you are accessing a server, right? So this is called client server. Similarly, like on your mobile, you access any you're watching reel or watching videos, or maybe on LinkedIn you're reading or doing something on the internet. So when you connect with somewhere, so the application is installed on your mobile is considered as a client, and you are accessing the data from somewhere, that somewhere is as a server. So client and server. Very nice, guys. So yes, we are done with this one, and now come to the final, and which is distributed version control system. Yes, distributed controls, not control version control system. So that, I mean, when I was studying engineering, at the subject distributed computing, if you're interested, guys, go and read that really amazing thing, right? But in here, in context of our version system, what it happens, let me explain you again the same thing. So that's what we seen in our centralized version control system, right? You have final changes over here, everybody has their own local change, I mean local changes as well, but final complete history of the project always goes to the central one. But in distributed, it's different. So yes, of course, this is optional, right? If you are setting it up, I did set up in one of my projects the entire um, this one, DVCS, right? So maybe you have one, or maybe you have more, it depends, right? So but it is possible, you could do it. So here we have one optional, or I would say, I would not say the central, but I would say the remote server instead of saying the central, because in distributed, nothing is central. That's why it is called distributed, right? And there are so many other things, as I mean, so many applications out there based on this model or this I would say technology concept is I think more relevant. So in this, what happened, you connect, you get, right, the data from the, I mean the code, copy of the code from the remote system. You do not only connect, I mean get the copy of the code, but you also get the complete history of all the changes. So unlike centralized system, right, where we have everybody has their own local system changes, but whatever the complete history we are always keeping on central. But in distributed, all the system, okay, those who are accessing the code, everybody has all the exact copy. I mean exact, I would not say the exact, it might be possible the exact, right, it will clear later on, but can have the copy of the code to the everybody, those who are connecting, right? So and final changes can be happen any place, right? How it will happen, we are coming on that. And this is not only that you are having the local changes on anywhere, but also everybody else also has other changes as well. So this is the concept of your distributed version control system, where everybody has copy of the code along with the all the changes in all the metadata. So right, so this is shared among everybody, those who are working on the code. In previous our repository, GitHub repository, I just shown you all 15,000 developers are the contributors, right? Everybody has all the copy, or even though it's publicly available, if you clone, right, or if you don't want to clone, you can also see it online. But if you clone, you get everything since beginning to the day when you're downloading the content, right? What happened, everything will be, you will get. So this is what the distributed system works. More sophistically, I would say, here it's time to introduce you with the new things. So here I just said this word clone, right? So when you are getting the source code or whatever, maybe it's word file, right, anything, when you are getting it from the remote server, right, to your local system, you have to clone it first time. Okay, so cloning, it means simply you are downloading from the remote system, you are making your changes, you are uploading again to the central server, sorry, not central server, remote server. And that uploading of the things is called push. So that's why in our pipeline, I told you developers did the code and they push the code to the repository. So that is, they upload the code. So it's a technical term, or it's a domain specific term for this push. When you say, okay, I have to push the code, people will understand, okay, you're talking about repository and you have to upload your changes to the repository somewhere, right? So that's why push. Then you have clone or pull. We will see what is the difference, right? But at the moment, consider this, both the things, it has difference, but just for now, think is it you are getting something from remote system to your local system, right? So yes, this happened, and here we have example of this. So Git is one of the example of distributed version control system, and Mercurial is also, but Git is one of the very popular in industry standard, and that's what we are going to learn. But I didn't choose this one. Why? I just showed you the repository. People are working over there. So GitHub is also not. There is a Git lab. Of course, we will start a test series on this latter. But the question here is, what are GitHub and GitLab if Git is an example of distributed version control system? Okay. So I will come to this, yes, in a upcoming section, right? So yes, this is the question for you. And before I go ahead, there is a question from Deepshpendra. A centralized server does not collect the history of commits. Yes, Pushpan, it collects, right, the history of commits. But to do that, you need to go on the central server. Okay, it does. It does. It will make sense, more sense to you now. So here we have a disadvantages, sorry, advantages, right, of distributed, and how it solves the problem of centralized version control system. So it says full offline functionality. So it means whatever you are doing and you used to do on central system, you can do on your local system. Once you are done with that, when you are when you are back online, then you can push, right? I told you push means you can upload your changes or you can sync your changes with the remote server, right? So that is possible. It solved this problem. Then we have complete repository copy. Everybody has complete copy of the code in case if I would not say central server, sorry, remote server hacked, compromised, lost, or not available, or all the possible ways you can think of, right? Touch wood, nothing bad happened, but possible, all the possibility you can think of, right? Happen, you can work locally on your own system. So this means this tool is capable enough to provide you all the functionality on your own local system. You don't need to connect to the remote one, right? It also says local operations. So most actions are performed locally, making operations faster and less dependent on the network speed. So you are doing on this. So it was a problem with the network. You have to connect with that. So it's like when you upload a reel, right? You went somewhere, you took a very good video, you want to upload a reel, right? So what you do, you click on your Insta and add. So once you are done with the editing, after that there is an option to post or maybe upload. I don't know, I don't remember, but yes, that's what logically I think. It doesn't say first you to upload and then edit. No, not like that, right? First you provide all the things locally, right? Because they provided you facility with their application or their app, right? So and once you are done, you just have to say okay, post it or release it. Likewise, so local things can be everything can be done locally. It says high redundancy and backup. So in terms of, so everybody has same copy. If I lost, maybe one of my colleague, it means the fellow, the contributor, I'm working with one of the open source project, and their laptop stole or lost. So he can ask me, okay, I mean, though he was very voice and he had a insurance for the this kind of stuff. He will get, or he got a new laptop. Now he can simply say okay, he can download the from the remote repository if that is not available. But I mean, that is not the case. I can also push my code over there and he can also have the entire copy. And of course from the laptop you can also copy and share with your friend as well, right? But that is not a efficient way in my experience or my view. And it says excellent branching and merging. So we didn't talk about branching, right? But we just barely say, okay, Kubernetes maintain this version in the branching. So branching consider as a copy of the code, right? And merging, like when you and your friend working with the same project. So you said, okay, I'm done. And you both says, okay, let's copy. And once you copy, you don't have to manually check. It is possible via the, let's say, instead of putting in one, let's say merge. When you say okay, git merge, and it is done, you don't need to do anything. There are cases right, where you have to do something, but it is really excellent in terms of distributed version control system. Any questions on this, guys? I hope I try my best to make it clear for you. Okay, any questions? So yes, as usual, in technology, in real life, right? It happens. Everything has plus and minus, but this disadvantages are not so significant. Yes, there are some, but yeah. So as I said, more complex setup. Yes, I must agree because I did this. It is really complex. Okay, because it's a distributed. So in distributed, in nutshell, it's like it makes sense. Like I can download the copy, but when you talk about like um, mm, insights, so when you upload, you don't know where your reel is going to store. I mean, yes, of course, in Europe it is GDPR compliant, so they cannot take your data out of Europe. But in general, within Europe, you don't know where it is going to store, on which server it is going to store, like your Dropbox, your Google Drive, right? So those are more example of distributed kind of thing. Large disk space. So like I said, this project, it's more than 20 or I don't remember exactly. I have to check. So let's say the project is more than 20 years old. Then what happened in 20 years? And this it was around 1.3 million changes. So many things happened when you download this repository. You need some space, right? So this is the, but of course you want to work on that, of course, then in that case you can upgrade the disk. So I don't think it's a major disadvantage, but yes, it is if you are running out of the space and requires synchronization. So first time when you download, yes, you need to, but in case of automation, yes, it's a very big thing. So that's why when we talk about pipeline optimization, I will let you know, or I will tell you what you need to do to optimize your pipeline, right? But of course, time to time you have to synchronize, and this is a requirement, and how it will also go, I will tell you. Any questions on disadvantage? Just no. Okay, I take it as a no. No question, then it's my turn to ask the question. Okay, in DVCS, each developer has a partial copy of the repository, complete local copy of the repository, no copy of the repository. Very fast. Rakesh, Samar, Francisco, Nitish, Tarun, everybody. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Yes, complete local copy of the repository on their own system. Very nice. Thank you guys for the participation. Okay, so let's go ahead and have another question. A major advantage of DVCS is always require internet, excellent support for branching and merging, single point of failure. Good, Pushpendra, Rakesh, Samar, Tarun, Nitesh. Very nice, guys. Very nice. So yes, all answers are correct. Excellent support, right, for branching and merging. Which we talk. Yes, we know we don't know branching is what branching means, what merging, and we will see that. But yes, very nice, guys. Then synchronization in DVCS happens automatically without user input, manually when developers, again, developers means user, okay, choose to sync. No offense, my developer friends. And never as it's not needed. Okay. Tarun, Nitish, Samar, Pushpendra, Francisco, Rakesh. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Bingo. So manually, so I will also show you. Sometimes you have to. Here it says developers choose to sync. Sometimes you want to do push some code. You have to first do the sync. We'll see. But yes, that's the answer is correct. Yeah. One moment. We have a question. Yes, please go ahead. Somebody has raised. Maybe accident. Okay. No. So yes, DVCS stands for. Should I skip this question? Okay. When before that, very good summer. Francisco, Pushpendra, Tarun. Dynamic version control system, right? I'm kidding. Yes, distributed version control system. Answer is correct. I'm very happy. Now, yes, this is the last question. for the day. I mean, not for the day, for this. So one of the main distinctions between DVCS and CVCS is DVCS uses a central repository only. DVCS allows for full offline work capability. DVCS has no support for branching and merging. Very nice. Ah, Pushpan. Francis, so very nice, guys. Very nice. So all answers are correct. Okay, correct answer is this one. So I changed this, so this is from, I mean, for you as well. Very nice, guys, for the participation. It's really, really amazing, guys. Everybody gave the right answer. So no confusion at all, right? So topic is clear. And my motto, my intention, or my aim is going in the direction where I want to. I don't want you to come back and watch this video again, right? In first time, everything is clear. Amazing. So yes, it's a summary, right? In summary, what all these things we talk about this. So when is, I mean, of course, when you are preparing for interview, come back, read this, or take a snapshot of this, or a screenshot of this. This one, right? Just to refresh your concept. Again, these are the common things across all this version control system. Sometimes, if you need or you're curious to know, and these are the differences all these three. Okay, so remember what happened. Okay, what is, but you all guys already give very nice, all the answers are correct, so I don't need you to say anything, right? So just for your references over here. So far we are done with that. We have completed version control system, local version control system, CVCS, it means centralized version control system, distributed, essential, and insights and rundown we already done. In next section of this session, we will talk about the special things. Okay, and now, yes, okay, and guys, after this, I mean, so it's time for the break. Okay, and once you are back, then we will start with this one. And so I already talk about foundational things. Here I will talk about the more concept before we actually going to use with the Git. And like Rakesh initially said about this, things are really confusing, especially when you start. You no big deal with the commands, but yes, the concepts are really important. And okay, no more thing, just go for the break and see you in 10 minutes. Okay, and if meanwhile if somebody has any questions, I'm here for you guys. Okay, and as I said, we also have a special guest today. I will introduce you after this section. Okay, go have coffee or just grab a fresh air. Oops, and come back in 10 minutes. All right, guys, I'm back. Give me quick confirmation if you're back. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys, before we go ahead to this section, as I promised, we have somebody today I would like to introduce here to with you. So we have David sir with us. He is my mentor. He's my godfather, coach. I mean, whatever possible word in this context. He's with us today, and it's very honor for me to having him here today. And he has been guiding force and mentor in my entire, not only DevOps, but yes, entire career, I would say. Much like he provided very valuable advice and support on each and every of my career step. And today I'm here to sharing my knowledge because of him. He has some work, he has to go, so that's why I introduced in middle of the session. David sir, would you like to say something to?
Yeah, sure. Excuse me, sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all here. And it's nice to see your instructor, your teacher over there, smiling face as well. Yeah, well, he mentioned me so many things about me, but all what he knows, I showed him, but I know nothing about what he's teaching because I didn't take the next initiative like you guys are doing to get in, learn, ask question, come back and do it. These things I never did it, but I was good motivator. So in the beginning, I came to know your instructor, your teacher, maybe about more than 10 years ago. I met him in one of these classes like this online. He was in India and I was in, I'm still in Toronto, Canada. We met him like that. And then I gave him, we made some connections and then he asked me a few questions. And then I know his beginning and I know his progress, the way he progressed, and I know where he is now, and I know where he's going to be. The same thing, just to make it short, I know you guys have no time, not much time. Make it short. You guys are very, very, very blessed and lucky that you found this course. That's all I'm going to say. If you follow what he's teaching, what he's showing, if you follow the path, I guarantee you, I guarantee each and every one of you, if you follow, put your time, work, it's not free. It is free. He's giving it free. But the knowledge and the experience that you're going to get is not going to be that easy. So it's going to take your part as well. So there are always two sides, one coming from him, one has to go from you. So if you guys to work together, I guarantee you, you will be in the same place or even more than what he's doing and showing, more than the teacher. So I give you, I wish you all the best and may God bless you all. Keep on doing what you guys are doing. Thank you. Thank you for this time. Bye now.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind word. Bye, sir. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Guys, give me a sometime. It's a very emotional moment for me. Give me some time. I'm turning off the camera. Okay, all right, guys. I mean, it's a big deal. Big deal for me. He joined the session. Okay. I really got goosebumps, and that was very emotional moment for me when he got this. And that's the reason I started this training, and not I'm sorry, not the training, just training is the just name, to share my knowledge, because I faced a lot of problem when I started. So when you have a good, I'm not your coach, I'm just sharing knowledge. But yes, if you need anything, I'm there for you. You are in WhatsApp group, you have something, you can directly ping me, like many other our friends, they ping me directly. They are, I mean, I'm not saying they don't want to or they are not comfortable. It's their choice. If you have some question or something or any query, right? Or if you want to talk about something, maybe career related, or what is your current situation, I'm there. I'm more than happy to talk. So with David sir, yes, in my initial stage, yes, I spoke with him. I shared a lot of things, and that time was very painful when you're moving, you're transitioning from one phase to another phase, or maybe you're not happy with what you're doing. So I mean, you have a lot of questions. The situation where you don't have answer, to whom you talk, who will answer your question, right? So in that kind of situation, I hope nobody will be in that situation. But if you feel something to talk, ping me, my number with you. I'm available to help. Okay. So that was, now I think I'm ready to go ahead for next session. I mean, not session, the next section. Okay. So let's start. So now our complete focus is on Git. So guys, now onwards, please complete on focus. I want your all the attention over here. Okay. In next 30 minutes, I'm going to share the concept. You will let me know once I done with this explaining what you think now and after that. Okay. So let's start with the Git. So when we started the our Linux part, I told you this command, right? So this command where we can see whether Git is installed or not, right? So I found out, yes, it is installed. So I don't know whether for some purpose I installed or not installed. So it's showing something like that. So you can execute this command apt list dash dash installed, this vertical sign called pipe, and grab, and then you could give the Git. Okay. And okay, after that, it will give you this thing, right? It says automatic. It says install, right? So I think this automatic, it means it's already installed, but this is being installed. So you can check if it doesn't give you any output, it means no CLI is installed, right? Still it gives you output, that's completely fine. Then next command, you have to check what version are you using. So Git version 2.43.0. I believe you will get this version on the this one. Okay. Additionally, you also have this further commands over here. These are the Linux commands. Remember, all the Git commands start with the Git only. Okay. Rest all the Linux command. Fine. Then if you are able to see this version, it means Git is installed. You can use that, and you can execute this command git dash dash help, right? So when you execute this command, this is the command to how you can get help, right? So for example, if you want to know more about this clone, so you can say git and this help, or I think what's the syntax, command and argument, like that. Okay. So here you could say git help and git, so like the same, right? You can get more information. So we will come back on this later on, but this is the where you can see the most important, right? Fetch, pull, push, tag, right? So what these are: rebase, merge, commit, branches, status logs, and all these things, add, move, and all, right? We will talk about this. Next we have yes, to download this, of course, the same thing, we have to go over here, right? And on this website, or simple, we can say Google download Git and install Git, right? So it will give you the link, or of course, whatever your favorite AI companion, can go over there. By default, it will select the operating system or the laptop, or I mean your host operating system. Based on that, it gives you the recommendation, right? But for us, we want to go to the download section. We have to install on the Linux, select the Linux, click on this, right? Once you click on this, you will go to this page, right? One more thing over here, in case of Windows, I mean, I also mentioned previously as well, once you download and install, it's very similar process, but you have to select the Git bash when it will ask you at the end, I think, which bash you want to use. So that you could do on the Windows, right? Then on this page, right, we are interested in this, right, Debian, and we already talk about this command, right, how we can install. So once you install using this command, right, so you get the version 2.43.0, right? Then we have additionally one more thing over here. So like when on download page it says 2.48.1, but when you use this command you get this version. I'll tell you why. Because this version is already tested with the, because when you execute apt command, it will connect with the Ubuntu repository, okay, where these versions are tested, right, with their operating system. So when they will test this 2.48.1 version and they include in their own repository, then you will be able to use this command. But we want to get this version. There is no harm, it is well tested with your operating system, right, by from the vendor side. So here in our case, vendor is Ubuntu, okay? So always remember, when you are working on production system, right, production server, in that case you need to go with this version, I would say, because this is natively supported, right? So it's like, okay, on my iPhone, the app store, the Apple has says, okay, iTunes version, you can use this one. So whatever they are providing over there is best for me. That will more, because they tested that version, that's the thing. But it is also says, okay, here it says for Ubuntu this PPA. So there is a full form of this PPA. It's a personal package archive. Okay, this is maintained by Git community. Okay, and when you go ahead, so you have to provide these two commands, copy one by one, right? First one, sorry, and second one is apt update. I'll show you why, and I will tell you what is this. But you remember this when I said dollar and hash, right? Do you remember? How many of you remember? Just give me uh, in a chat. Francisco, I'm coming on this question. Yeah, very good, Tarun. Very good, very good, guys. Good. So yes, hash means the root, right? The root prompt, or it says the root prompt character, right? So whenever in documentation, when you see this, it means you need to have a root access. It doesn't mean you have to have be a root. You should have a root access, right, to install this, right? So that's why. But here, in my, I have this dollar prompt, right? So let's go ahead and see what I have done. So I use sudo, and that's why, because I have to run this command as a admin rights, right? So sudo apt-get repository ppa :git core and all these things. Then it will ask you for press enter to continue, or this, and this is the most current stable version of Git for Ubuntu. So it doesn't mean, right, okay, whatever is natively, so 2 point, I think 43, yeah, 43, I think that version is tested from the Ubuntu side for their own repository. 2.48 version is not tested in their environment, in their release, right? But of course, Git is a community. Git, the developers or development team, they already tested, okay, on 24 version it is working properly fine, you can use it. and that's why we are doing it for our personal use. But in production, when you are doing it, when you are setting up a pipeline, and in that case, always remember to test thoroughly the version and then go ahead with it. Don't blindly go ahead with the latest version. Okay, so it says, okay, press enter. When you hit enter, it gives all this information, and after that you need to execute this command sudo apt update when you are executing the command, right? So when you use this one, semicolon, I guess, semicolon. Okay, thank you, Rakesh. See, sometimes it happens. So when this semicolon in between, so you have to execute multiple commands, right? So you could put this one and you can write the writing the command continuously. So it will execute as a, or consider as a, one command at a time, right? And also what I have done over here, dash y. So dash y, it means no questions asked, just do as I said. Simple, right? So y dash option is there because when you do automation, and so of course on in when you executing this by the your service account, right, or a robo account, so nobody is there who can confirm, right? Because if I don't put this dash a or hyphen y, sorry, not a, hyphen y, it will prompt me whether you want to continue or not, right? And on remote server or somewhere else, right, in pipeline, if I forget dash y, then my pipeline gets stuck over there. And if I did not say timeout, or I did not set timeout, then what happened? Pipeline will keep on and consuming the resources, right? So that's why always remember, if you are sure what you are doing, you want system to do, always put dash y. But initially you are doing it, don't use dash y until unless you are 200% sure. And once it is done, then you can see the version over here, 2.48.1, right? And this is the identical. So this is because of this. So what we basically did in this strap, we added a Git repository in Ubuntu repository, this apt update, so it refresh the entire repository database. And when you execute this command, so this command contact to the Git server, Git repository, where this Git is already latest version, right? The version we want. Okay, so this is done. Any questions on this installation part? Okay, as a no, thank you. Okay, so let's start.
Yeah, I have one. Sorry,
Yeah,
I need to install, as you said, the sudo apt update, sudo apt install git e, and gave to me invalid operation install.
Can you text me the command, what command you use, or
Yes,
I quickly check it? Give me a second, guys. Let's see what when installing version. Yes, yes, Rakesh, absolutely correct. I just explain this how this happened. What is the difference between when you go ahead instead? I mean, you could use the command sudo apt install git, and it will go to the repository. And it will directly download, and that is my preferable way, and that's what I use. But I also explain you sometimes. Previously, this was my experience. People say, okay, we are not able to. I think last time it was 47 version 2.40, and they said we are not able to do that. Then that's why this time I explain uh, why you need to do with this. Okay, so of course completely fine with that. As I said, it's completely tested version, no problem. Even we can go with the downgrade version as well. We are just using the command. There is no harm at all. Okay, and okay, sudo apt update. Yeah, so what error are you getting, Francisco?
no, told me invalid operation install
Yes.
at the end.
Yeah. So have you executed this command before that? This one?
Yeah, executed that. Which one?
This was this one. Add apt repository ppa colon git.
No, No,
Yeah,
no.
okay. So, okay, guys, again, I mean, I really appreciate you are following along to save the time, but please also focus while I'm saying. Okay, you first have to add this to refresh the repository. Okay, I mean, I'm not just pointing out. Okay, very great, you are doing following up. Okay, and then you have to update. So when you add this first, okay, then this command will refresh the repository context, okay, where it has to, so address of the repository, and then it will install. Okay, yeah, Tarun, you also have question you raised. Could you please type in a chat? I am really not able to understand because of the noises, so please type in a chat, I will answer. Okay, he says please explain the middle command. You mean this one? Just type yes, or maybe give a reaction. Tarun, middle means this one, right? Okay. Okay, guys. So sorry about that if I was too fast, but no worries. Let's go back. And for others, it's a kind of just a refreshment. Okay. This command is clear to everybody. Simple. You don't need to say apt-get. You can say sudo apt install git. It will install. Right. And without, even though if you say apt update apt install git, right, so it will also give you the same version. Reason here, what we are doing in this step. Let me go. I said okay, so it says repository type dev, but it's a PPA publishes. This one you may need to include man debug and all these things. And here it says this description, it says release candidates. I believe now you know what release candidates means, right? To go to this one and more info is this one, and here the point it says adding repository. So it means we are manually making changes, right? Or we are manually making this is a part of update management when we talk in Linux. So there was when I showed you command, right, the section update management, right, a pack, sorry, not update, the package management. So this is a part of that. So what we are doing, we are changing the context, right? So instead of going to default, right, so instead of that we are asking Ubuntu, okay, when I execute this command, please don't go to your own home, go to my friend's home and get this thing and come back from there, right? So but we have to tell Ubuntu, okay, where he has to go or it has to go. So by this command we are telling Ubuntu, go to that address and you will get this one at there, right? So exactly this thing happened. So when you do this, it says adding repository, and what kind of things is happen? See, it says hit get and all these things, right? And it says PPA Ubuntu Noble and this one and all these things, right? And at the end it says done. So it means this repository context or this new repository is address is added to the our local Ubuntu system. That's why I said it asks you to confirm when you hit enter. And after that, in this command sudo apt update, so you have added the repository. But until and unless, instead of, I mean, same thing can be happen when you reboot, right? in case of service. But here in Linux we don't need to reboot. Here simply we can do sudo apt update, so it will refresh the context. Okay, whatever entries we made in the files, it will reload again. And after that, it installed the gate from the address we have added. So this is 3-step process. If you are interested to go with the version which is just explaining on their official website. Okay, so that's what I explained. Anybody has any questions? Oh, thank you, Pushpin, for the feedback. Okay, guys, so I got, okay, thank you, got it, and everybody got it as well. Okay, and guys, here there is a Francisco also mentioned kind of error. Try and reproduce the what kind of error you get when you without adding this, and we will be using this several times, right? I will show you. But as I said, in production, great production system, I mean, though you directly don't do it, but if you are accessing a server, you need to install a git. in most of the case, 99%, or I would say 99.99% cases, you will get the Git. Don't upgrade it. Whatever is there, that will work completely fine for you. Okay, nice. So let's start. Now we have installed a Git. Now what we have to do, we need to start working on a project. So of course we don't have a website, so we together decide, okay, why not we have on website. So very first thing, of course, whatever is there, if I have new movie, new game, right, or new software, I have some kind of folder on my desktop, right, where I would like to keep things inside that, right? So similarly with this one, I created one project, and we know mkdir is the command to create a directory, right, or folder, however you want to call. In Linux it is called directory, official document. Then I created one file. Guys, everything will be clear. If you feel something is not getting or going like this, okay, just interrupt me and ask me the question. This is really important. It is more than the commands which we are going to execute later. Okay, touch, I created a file, and which file is inside this directory. Okay, there is in between, there is one more command I executed, cd dsoc3 underscore project. Now I'm inside the, you could see over here. Then I created this file, and then I, for as a, just for your, not for your, for our brain satisfaction, okay, this command was actually executed over like this. Okay, so our brain will be pacified and start accepting this, all this information, right? Just for our brain. Then I executed the command because I created this command, right? And it says git ls dash files. So this is the command from Git, right? In when I showed you git dash dash help, this was not there, but by which you can identify whether this file, I mean, whatever content inside your repository, or what is the file or directory or whatever, is actually tracking or yeah, okay, it's now correct time to say this word, tracking, right, or monitor by the Git or not. So at the moment when I execute this command, it's a fatal, not a Git repository, okay, or any parent up to mount or all this thing. Okay, stopping at file system boundary, git underscore discovery underscore across file system, not set. So it means Git didn't find the information which Git is looking for or was looking for. Okay, so instead of long this thing, it means this directory is not a Git repository so far. Okay, that's why it says fatal. So how can I check? We know ls-a, it will give us all the hidden directories and file information, or simply the dot files, right? So here I have this one, dot readme.md file, right? I don't have anything else. Then what I have done, then I have changed, not change, I have executed another command. So it means here I identify, okay, there is no git or something over here, right? There is no git related files because it is inside the directory, right? So it should be somewhere in hidden because it's a configuration file or configuration directory, which is more than that, just for our understanding. And then, so by that we know, okay, the git was the repository was not initialized. So we have command, this one, git init. Okay, when you execute this command, you must be first go inside the directory where the directory you want to initialize as your git repository. Okay, so I am already inside this directory, and it says hint hint hint. Yes, we will talk about this later, but here it says using master as the name for the initial branch. This default branch name, okay, is subject to change, and so many other stuff. Completely fine for us. It says git branch enough. We will talk about all this. Okay, commands, how we rename the branch, and how we can do this configuration change. But for us, the important thing, I mean, everything is important, but here it says initialized empty git repository in slash, see, it says entire path, right? Even I did not execute this command anywhere else. I mean, not at the slash home, but it gives me the entire thing, and it says initialized empty git repository in this one. So far I am here and it says .git. So what happened? Let's see. When I execute the same command ls-a inside this, then I got this .git folder. Yeah, .git folder, right? And now if I go inside this .git, then I have so many other stuff: head, config, description, hooks, info. We will revisit this and I will also tell you what is this, but at the moment consider this as a your entire local database. Whatever you're gonna make change, everything will be over here. This is here one of the interview questions. I think put in a short somewhere. This is the important. If interviewer in your interview it is being asked, okay, you are working on a project, okay, which take a payment, okay, from the client, and make a bank transition and all these things. So what is the most important file in Linux? Everything is file, no folder. Okay, so usually this is happening. People don't say specifically directory, because when talking about contextual Linux always says file. Okay, so it is being asked, okay, what is the most important file in your entire project? So your answer should be .git, because everything, whatever changes you are doing, whatever commits you are doing, okay, you are doing push, you are doing pulling, or any operation, everything will be stored in this. So if we lost this, we lost everything. But as it's a distributed, right, if we lost, no problem, we can again download it from this. But in case if it is not possible, but this is not the case at all. So but for answer you could say this is one of the important file. No configuration file is important, no secret password is important. Yes, those are important, but if we talk about project, this is the was of the most important directory or file. Okay, .git. Then next, I executed the same command again, git ls dash files. Before it was giving me fatal, not a Git repository, but now in Linux, remember, when you do not get any error, it means the command you have type and hit enter, it means that got executed successfully. If you see error, okay, it means there is a problem. If you don't see anything on the screen, it means it has executed successfully. Okay, next, what happened here? Okay, so then next command I executed, that is git status. So this is the command where it gives you the information what is the current status of your working directory. Okay, so yes, it gives us on branch master, no commits yet, untracked file, and nothing added to commit, but untracked files and all this thing. Yes, I explained you, but I'm not happy with what I explained, right? So this is what actually I have done. So let's go back and again see what I have done, what it means actually, right? So when I have created this one, so created a directory, created a file, and after that I did all these things. Since then, my working directory, my folder was not a Git repository. Okay, till this stage, till this steps or this many commands, the repository was not, the folder was not your Git repository. As soon as I execute this command, git init, right, it says initialize. So we got this .git folder inside our project folder, and this file has changed in a red color, readme.md, simple. We will be talking this more in details later, but it's the time to explain you the concept, what happened when you did like this. Okay, next step after that, we have list down the content of this one, right? So when this the git folder was introduced or created, or I would say the initialize this directory as a repository, okay, and as a empty git repository. Then we got database. So this git is as a database, right? So this git folder is our database where all the changes, everything gets stored. And here we have description, info, hook, config, reference, and the object head. We'll talk about this later. But the additional thing, .git folder was created by this command, and this has all these things over here. Okay. Then next what happened? I checked. Okay, no error. It means because when I say git, all the git commands start with git. Okay, so that's why this is the git command. It has .git folder. When we say this, it didn't say anything. But when I executed this command ls-l, so it is showing me readme.md, right? But here Git is not giving me any of the information about readme.md file. So what happened over here? We initialize already the repository as a Git, but we do not have the option, right? Or Git is not tracking this file, right? That's why in next what I've done, where is that? Yes, then I have executed this command git status. So Git says untracked file. Remember this, it says untracked file very first time when you file added into the repository. So initializing the repository, it doesn't make Git is a start tracking of your files, right? It also has its own principle, right? You have to tell the Git, like when I ask you guys, do you want to be added in a WhatsApp group? When you confirm, then we add it, right? So similarly, you have to inform the Git, okay guy, Git, this is the file I want you to track. So for that we have something, okay, so which basically says the same thing here. The important at the moment is untracked file and the rad one. That's why this file color has got changed. Next, okay, then one more thing I forgot, I believe. Yeah, okay, on the same, it says git add, and it says angular bracket, it says the file, right? So what you need to do, you have to execute this command. Okay, I think nothing. Okay, you always do not rigorously or blindly follow this one. At the moment these suggestions are correct, right? But we will also come across the scenario where the suggestions are not as per what we want, but these are suggestions, right? So at the moment, yes, we want to track this file, so we executed this command git add readme.md. So git is the, of course, git command, add is again the part of this command, and the which file we want to add the file readme.md. So it says after, when I again did the git status, it says on branch master. So it's the same on branch master, no commits, no commits, but here it was before untracked files. Here we have changes to be committed. Before it was saying as a untracked file, but now it's saying changes to be committed. So now we know committed means final saving, right? So it is not saved, but the color is saying in a green one. Now this is, I already explained you, right? Then go ahead with this one, and here it was saying changes to be committed. So let's commit this. Okay, so I executed this command git commit -m, my first commit. Always give a meaningful name over here. Okay, just don't go with your gut feeling. If you're joining in a company, you are start working with a, let's say as a DevOps engineer, as a Terraform as a project, and now the developers and operations, I mean DevOps has a common repository where the developers push the application related code, we push the other DevOps push the infrastructure related as a code. So you need to know, okay, what is your commit. So basically here in commit, what happened in company, you have the ticket ID, and you know when we talk about the planning phase of the this one, I told you we need some tool. Very popular tool is Jira. Of course that is not sponsored. I mean, they are not sponsored of this session, but they don't need to, they are very popular, right? So that tool ticket is created. This ticket number is mentioned over here because it has some limitation. You cannot track what happened. So simple, if something went wrong, you immediately grab, okay, by the utility, right, what happened, and by that ticket ID you go to your ticketing system and you can read the entire thing what was planned. But in our case here it says author identity unknown. This command is correct, no problem with the Git. This is the absolutely correct. But what the problem? Please tell me who you are, right? So what happened, because we install since beginning, I told you, right, when the time will come we will change this name. So now the time is to change this, because here we will talk about this later, but these are the commands for the configuration, right? But in company you don't need to do this because these are already pre-configured, and how it pre-configured I'll tell you. But in this case what happened, let's see next. So it says this, okay, I think okay. So what I have done, I checked the one moment. Yeah, it says unable to auto detect email address got dsoc3 at my first Ubuntu installation dot none. So here basically it got username, but it is looking for kind of a host name, right? So it didn't find. So what I did here, I execute this command. This is the hostname CTL, by which you can get so many information. Here the important is static host name. So it says static host name is my first Ubuntu installation. I have renamed this using the command sudo hostname CTL set hostname, and this is at the end, this is my new host name for this server, right? And it asks me for the password, and then I check again hostname CTL. So yes, server1 dash master dot dsoc3 dot local. So dot local, I can use .com as well, but yes, .local is good because it is secure. It is not resolvable all internet. When your server is not exposed, use .local extension, and which is common. You can use your name as well, right? Use any name which is not resolvable at internet, but it's your wish. Or I would say depending on the project, because we have to create a blueprint and we have to go according to blueprint. So format and all these things, also naming convention, it also requirement came from the client or the planning team. Okay, so I have renamed it, and then I re-execute the same command and git commit dash my first commit. And now see master root commit, this my first commit, committer is this one. So my first Ubuntu installation is the committer, and it says dsoc3. So it is detected as my username, and this is as my domain. So by default, if you don't do the configuration part like this git global, these details will go like this. So when you join a company, you get a laptop. That laptop is already added in the company domain, right? And you use your username. So people really don't feel like they have to do this configuration, but this is the good practice. I will show you when the right time will come. And at this moment what happened, after the commit, this file is changed, and now it is completely, I mean, it is not in red, it's not in green, right? It's now added to the repository, right? And when I say git status, it says on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. Working tree, it means our this repository we are talking about, and this repository is inside the folder, right? So that's what happened. And how can I check? So I have a command git log. So when I execute this command, it gives me all the information, what commit has happened and who is done by whom. So author, my first Ubuntu installation, and this is my email ID. It is detected as, but username is still the same. I have to fix this, we'll do this, but this is the important thing. And when it did happen, Saturday January 18. So I think today is 18, and when I did it at 11:12 today. So okay, and this was the commit message which I given my first commit. Okay, fine. So this is happened, and additionally, thank you, Ishmael. Then additionally I would like to mention, after this you can also find this information, right? I'm just telling you It's not just .git folder, is just folder. So you can see over here, if I execute this command here, we have something. I mean, this was executed before, I believe. Yes. And now after this commit, right, we have the one folder called logs, right? If you want to check something, go in logs and you get more information over here. But before we did not have the logs. So whatever, as I said since beginning, whatever you are making or doing, any changes, branching, all these things, right? When we create a branch, we will also see more things inside that. But we time to time come back to this, but we are not going to make any changes in this, okay? Until and unless we have a redundancy or backup somewhere, okay? Then this is done, and let me quickly summarize what done so far. So very first, created a directory. After that, the same process I did for readme.md. For example, I have created file1.txt. Then by this command git ls files, I check. So it is not tracking my file, right? I can confirm, and then I can say git status. So we know it is not tracked. So untracked file means red color, right? Then we did a git add file1.txt git status. It shows as a green one. Then we did the commit message, and after commit, we did the status and it says on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. And at the end, again, we executed the same command git ls files, and now we have readme.md and file1.txt. All good so far, everybody? This is what we have done. Thank you.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Sure, please.
Sir, here you have changed the name after this using system control something.
Host name
Yes,
CTL.
that means,
Yeah.
how did you select that new name? That means,
okay, that's the question, or do you want to add more?
yes, sir. That means the new name is we need to select anything which is we like, or is there any specific name we need to select that new name? That means you have selected that SRE1 master dot local.
Yeah, so I have given this name because I will use this as a master machine for our other modules. So you can give any name, whatever you like, but in production, in companies, we already get this information, right? So Linux admin is already done that, Linux and network admin, because like if any company is there, so XYZ, I mean XYZ or company name .com, it's a domain of the company. So whatever the server gonna add, so usually what happens, so for example, I just choose this as a server, so I remember, okay, I'm gonna use this as a server and I'm gonna use it as a master server. So in company, we know what is we are gonna do, so accordingly we choose the name. So I wanted to use in that way. Later when we do it, so maybe you come up with something else and you say, no sir, I want you to change this name like this. Yes, we use again hostname CTL, set hostname, put the name of the new uh, domain or name of the server, right? And then we are good with that. So it's completely based on what you want to do. But in company, it doesn't happen like that. You have some documentation, you have to follow that. But that is the command by which you can change the host name permanently. Any further question? Yeah, thank you.
Sir, after that also your host name is same, sir. That means it did not change.
It has changed. 1 second. No worries.
That means here it is showing dsoc3 at the ref. My first Ubuntu installation. It is remains same here on screen.
One moment. Yes, exactly. So don't rely on this. Okay, this is, I would say, the better, or you can trust more. So when I executed this command before, it was showing static host name, this one. When I changed, right? When I changed and after that I executed this command, then name got changed. So why it is showing this? Because I did not refresh my the session I logged in on the server. So I did SSH and after that I log in. Okay. So when I reboot or maybe I relog in again, then it will got refreshed. But when you execute this command, yes, this is gonna be changed. I was keep on working on this. So that's why this Might be, I would say, the confusion arise, but thank you very much for asking the question. I also didn't notice this thing. This might cause have something confusion. So I will update this for the next time. Thank you for asking. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Yes, that means I thought that you have changed the name, but here it is remaining same. That means where it has changed, I did not understood that.
No, no. In next session, definitely I will show you. But yes, this command is perfectly correct. When you do this, yes, it is gonna change, and that's how the Git has tracked this. Where it was, I think we are talking about here. We've done this, yeah, here, and that's why here it before it was giving us kind of error, but here it says at the rate this one. Okay, so internally it has happened. Okay. Any further questions, guys? No. Okay, then thank you very much. So I'm almost complete. Yes, this is the last repetition of the same concept, but in different way. I want you guys to be perfectly ready, confident when you are starting, when you turn on your laptop, you are going to do your work directly, not come back and watch this video. Okay. So again, the same thing. What happened? Let's quickly see. I have done mkdir dsoc project, not Git repository. Remember, I did file, still not Git repository, right? When I did Git init, then this folder, right, initialized as a repository. Or no harm if I directly say this is your repository, but we generally consider entire folder because .git is inside that, right? So now it is local repository. And guys, one more thing here, when we initialize this, right, then this folder, right, or directory, anyways, you got my point what I'm referring. So in this, what I mean, this is logically divided in three, because sometimes it says red, it says green, right? And you maybe heard about not tracked, unstaged, or stage, or something like that, right? So these two things are clear. We have one working directory where we are working on, we have one database where all the changes are getting stored, right? When I execute this command git add readme.md, the file go somewhere in between area and the database area, right? Or instead, or I would say the repository area, or repository in short. And when I say git add dash my first commit, then finally goes in the file goes into the repository. So everything, file is not going anywhere, everything is inside your folder. Only logically we divided the area into three part. Okay, and this three part called, first one is working directory, files you are working on, right? So regardless, until and unless and you are not doing the add or adding the file into you're not asking git to track the file, then it will show as a on track. But when you add that file, it means you are asking git to track the file, whether this file, I mean, regardless the file is inside your uh, repository folder, right, or project folder. You have to specifically ask git, okay, git, I want you to track or monitor this file. Okay, and once you add, then it will go or finally store in your repository. Okay, any questions so far on this? This is the concept, this is the place where everybody has problem. I hope I try to explain this more simple way, right? Working directory, entire folder, it is logically divided into three parts. So when you are editing file, doing something normal, when you execute this command git add readme.md, then it is the file is being tracked, or it has started to track this file. Whatever changes you make, git will track all those things. We will see in details what it does, right? And then we have to, once we are done with that, right, so we commit, or we say the finally make a changes. Okay, and when we, for this we have a command. I'm sorry about this. This command should be git commit dash m, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. This is not the add file, right? Because this is for adding a file. This command. The correct command is git commit -m and my first commit. I think, okay. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry. So yes, this is the one, and this is called your staging area, where you can, before doing the final, saving your final changes, you have a chance to do your review the work you have done. Okay, so that's why in between it is stage, somewhere it is called staging area, somewhere it is called index or space or indexing area or something like that. But when we are talking about file is not stage, it means we are, Git is not tracking. When file is staged, it means Git has started to track the file. When file is commit, it means the file is already into the repository. But yes, of course, we are human and we have many chances where we want to accidentally did mistake and we committed and we want to revert the commit. So yes, we have that chance, we can do that. We can also unstage the file, and yes, of course, we can also remove the file from the project itself, right? But so many things are there waiting out there. We will be learning those later on, but at the moment on this topic I wanted to explain you on this much. Any questions on this, or any questions so far? Mike, let me change my question. Thank you, Pushpin, for feedback. Very nice. So as usual, no questions, then it's my turn to ask you questions very quickly. Let's go ahead and do that. What does the git init command does? Command do? Let me read out. Initialize a new Git repository, clone an existing repository, delete Git repository, list all branches. Okay, let me see. Rakesh. Okay, Tarun, Cisco. Okay, what about else? Okay, guys. So it's very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay, guys. So very nice. Let's see some good. So initialize a new Git repository. All answers are correct, guys. Very nice. Then let's go ahead. What is the .git directory? Okay, let's see how many of you answer. A hidden folder that stores all version control information for repository, a folder that contains the project source code, a directory for backup file, a temporary folder created during commits. Wow, you're faster, guys. Okay. Francisco Nitish. Pushpin. Okay, let's see. Very nice. Yes, very nice. Very nice. So you got the concept. What does this git ls files command display? Logs of all commits, a list of all files tracked by the git, the status of the repository, differences between commit. Mhm. Okay, Pushpendra, Tarun, Rakesh, Francisco, Suman, Nitish. Very nice, guys. Very nice. So, yes, I know. Actually, what happened here? Your answer is correct. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I know your reaction. Thank you for your attention. I'm really happy. Yes. You are really, really attentive. Nobody is slipping behind this. Yes. So B answer is correct. Okay. Logs of all commits. No, that is irrelevant, because when we did the command git log, that is the command, I mean, in that this would be the answer. Okay, so your answer is correct. The answer be a list of all the files tracked by the git. Okay, so I put this, so I wanted to see how many. So active over here. So everybody has passed from my side with this test. Next one. And what information does the Git status? Nitish. Yes, yes. I mean, otherwise this would be very boring, right? So what information does the Git status command provide? So the commit log, the current state of the working directory and staging area, the history of change, the list of branches. This time I'm not gonna test you. Okay. Saman, Nitish, Pushpendra, Raju, Francisco, Tarun. Very nice guys. Yeah, so B option is correct. Commit log, no. History changes, no. Yes, very good. Very good, guys. And next question. What is the staging area in Git local repository? A place where files are backed up, a directory for deleted files, an area where changes are reviewed before committing the repository, a temporary copy of the repository. Good, Rakesh, Samar, Raju, Francisco, Tarun. Very nice, guys. This answer is correct. Very nice. Let's go. Thank you, Pushpan, for the feedback, and thank you everybody for the participation. How many questions do I? I'm sorry, I put a lot of questions today because I want you to remember this. I mean, these are not just questions. I want you to remember these are the things, right? So, what does the Git command do? So, Git commit. Yes, so this is the exact one. I accidentally put over there git add dash m. So I'm really sorry, guys, for that. So adds changes to the staging area, save changes in the working directory, records changes to the repository, and revert changes in the repository. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Very good. Samar, Tarun, Nitish, Pushpen. Okay. Uh, okay. Good, Tarun. I have a question. Okay. First, we see. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for the participation. Let's see the correct answer. So what does the git commit command do? Okay, so when we do commit, it means records changes to the repository. Right? Do you remember we logically divide? Let me show you. Yes, that's why I put this question, where we are. Hope I will come back. One moment. So sorry, I accidentally put this, right? So when we commit, yes, 1 million commits. Yes, correct. That's fine. So commit, it means when, but here we are not. I mean, it's the same when we talk about GitHub. The same thing will go over there, and that's the concept of distributed, right? So when you do commit, this changes will go to your repository. So in this case, I mean, that's why I put the question. I said Git is a distributed version control system. I didn't say GitHub or GitLab. That's why I put that question. Okay. So when you do commit, it means this is you are not connected with remote repository yet. We are talking at your whatever you are doing it local system. Okay. And that's the beauty of this distributed version control system. It gives you the capability of how everything can be done on the local system, right? So remember, but yes, very good for the participation, and I hope now I explain you about the question and that's why I put that question, because I know that is going to create kind of confusion. Now I forgot which slide I have to go on. Yes, I think yes. Okay, so that's why it says record changes to the repository. I will also give you explanation why these options are the correct. So option A is incorrect. It changes to the staging area, right? So like when you do git add, it will go into the your staging area, the green one, right? Then B, it's incorrect because save changes in the working directory. So git commit records changes from the staging area to the repository, right? Not working directory to the staging one. And D, reverts changes in the repository. I didn't talk about revert, but yeah, there is another command, git revert or git reset. So it means that revert changes from the repository. Okay, so correct answer is when you do git commit, it means file goes from green one, I'm saying the green area, to the repository. Okay, we didn't push the, or we didn't upload this our file to the remote. That's why we are not talking. I put the question only specifically what I have just shown you. Okay, very good guys for the participation. We have two more questions to go and we are done for the day. What does the git log command displays? The list of branches, the current status of the repository, the list of files in the repository, the commit history of the repository. What is correct answer? Oh my god, where is my notes? Okay, good Rakesh, good Pushpin. Very good Tarun, Samar, Francisco. All answers are correct. I will do this. So the commit history of the repository. We will explore what all the information is, but first we know, okay, why I want to check log. Okay, git log is the command. I want to stage a file. Okay, this is the command git add. I want to commit. I know git commit is one of the command. This is what we need at the moment. Nothing else. We don't need to be go crazy about it. Yes, we will be, but not now. Okay. Next, what is the purpose of the git add command? Okay, I think I already told you. Commits changes to the repository, updates the repository to the latest commit, stages changes for the next commit, delete files from the repository. Okay. Rakesh, Tarun, take your time, guys. We are not in rush. Whatever your answer, just put. Because when I explain in future, you will remember, okay, you put this answer and this answer was wrong because of this. Very good, Francisco. Very good, Samu, for participation. Very good. Okay, so all answers are correct. Very good, Raj. Nice. Okay, so it stage changes for the next commit. When we do the git add, so file color was changed from red, I mean text, I would say, just for the visualization, the red to the green one, right? So that's why that in that area we call that as a staging area. And when file is there, we review, right? And that will be available for the next commit. So that's a free three-step procedure. I think the same. So that is end of this section. Okay, and we have learned the important concept, right? So far we have completed our VCS. What VCS? Important concept about the DevOps. As a DevOps, as a beginner, is a starting point. Yes, this is what we need to know. Now, guys, I mean, of course, you're welcome. Join next session, but you will be able to understand the documentation. If you find something, or maybe you say git dash dash help, what is happening, Yes, you could do this. In next section, we will talk about push pull. We will talk about the Git, what is Git, and once like I should today. I mean today in this section about how Git works actually. Then I will also give you the concept explanation for the GitHub. And once you have both the understanding, then I will bring you, or we will level up our game where we will talk about all the advanced things. Okay, so from my side, that's it on this section. So in next section we will talk about this, but that's it for today. And if you have any questions, any comment, any suggestion, and at the beginning I ask you, okay, you decide at the end whether this is great or not. I mean, it is not if I said, okay, today's session is very, I came up with very great or exciting things. So you said, what do you think? Anything? Questions? No questions, guys?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any feedback on this?
Yeah, it was a really good lesson, and I think I have to rewatch it because at one point I lost with my Ubuntu. I lost in the terminal. I lost, so I have to rewatch like the terminal for sure. But for my fault, not for sure for the lesson. By the way, thank you very much for the lesson. I really liked it, and now I discover a lot of new stuff, and the basis of local, about the centralized and distributor. I didn't know it, so and how to create new directory. It was really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco, for your word, and thank you, Samar and Rakesh and Raju, for your nice feedback on this. I mean, of course, I'm also open for the criticism. Uh, what we can what we can do more to improve this. I try. I would not say I try better. I would not say the best, because best always not the case. We always learn. Next time this will be the different, right? So we already extended as usual. Thank you very much, guys, for your passions, right, and your participation today. I really like to share my knowledge because of your participation. Okay, so as no questions, so this is the contact details in case something you have. And I will be sharing now it is the Git. Next week we will be having the GitHub repository, where I will be sharing a lots of practice questions for you guys, and also for our YouTube family. Those I also, and yeah, many people contacted via the direct chat, via the email. They couldn't attend the session because they are in um, different time zone. The time doesn't suit to them, right? So many people from the US. So from them as well, we would be having a GitHub repository, and yeah, they can directly access the repository and do the practice. And yeah, I will add you guys. Okay, who Pushpend? Yeah, and it was very spontaneous. I really appreciate a very fast response from your side today. Just as I send you email, you confirm. I will add you in a group. Our links are not publicly shared because of the safety of everybody. I manually added into the group. Okay, I will add you into the group. No worries. So, but thank you very much for confirmation. We will continue, and as I promise, I mean, I'm not time bound or something. You're open to learn, I'm open to share my knowledge with you guys. Okay, so thank you very much for your understanding. And next week no session, but week after we will see each other, and we will continue with the Git. And meanwhile, I will be posting you the questions, and I will also as soon as GitHub repository will be ready, I will give you the link for that, and you can do the practice. So thank you very much, guys. Big thanks for the participation, and I also enjoyed today a lot. I mean, of course, every time I enjoyed, but today was more interactive, more quizzes, and next time also we will be having the same till the end. We'll put more questions. Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna hang up the session, and we see each other next week. Until then, bye bye. Take care.
Goodbye.
And you will get this recording by tomorrow.